Hello, and welcome back to the land of the seven suns with Fishy Plantman as your host. Alright, I thought that I would do basically a watering video, checking each of the dirted plants at least, to see if they need water, and if they do, watering them. Now because I got, the phone in one hand, there'll probably be a lot of cuts so that you don't get a lot of, things like that while I'm trying to do something. So there'll probably be a lot of cuts, but we will start with this dragon tree. I want to call it a monstera, so I guess we'll just use common name dragon tree for this one. Now I've got a meter. Okay. Yep, a moisture meter. So that's how I'm gonna test. And as I put it in the dirt, oh wow, this plant has gone from really wet to now it's on the dry side. But anyway, people say that, these meters break and they stop working. And, well, to argue that, I've got a bit of common sense. So it's a matter of, do I agree with the meter or not? If something happens and the needle doesn't move, but I touch the dirt with my hands and it's not happening this time, but if I touch the dirt and it's soaking wet but the meter doesn't move, well, then I'll leave my hands over the meter. If it stops working, it stops working. I find them useful when they are working. This plant, I'm going to say, needs water, so I will go get some water, and this will be one of probably many cuts, but I'll get some water and be back. Okay, we've got the water, and the only other thing I'm going to do, this is aquarium water, from the 55 in this case, because I realized there's all the foods go in there. So, it's going to get the most nutrition from, different things that come out of the different foods I feed my fish. So I'm watering from the 55 nowadays. But before watering this, the only other thing I'm going to do, because Christmas is still up, there's the tree and everything. So I'm going to make sure that none of these dresses from these ladies, my choir ladies, are in the catch tray. I really don't want to ruin their dresses. They are very expensive and basically their clothes are irreplaceable. But nobody's dress is in the, or overcoat, whatever, is in the catch tray, so I'll go ahead and water, being careful to also not splash onto their clothing. It's going to take probably a full cup, poured slowly so that it doesn't splash on the Christmas decorations. There, it's coming out the bottom. So that one is done. I'm not going to bother with retesting. It's done. And I will go to the next plant. Like I say, probably quite a few cuts in this video. Sorry about that, but yeah, it is what it is. All right, plant number 2. One that was recently transplanted, repotted, whatever you want to call it. We will see. Moisture meter in. Well, that one moist. That is good enough. It is moist. Heading toward dry, but we'll let it dry out before watering. So that one doesn't need any water. Okay, I will move on to number 3, which looks like it's going to be the Lucky Bamboo that is in dirt. All right, the Lucky Bamboo that is in dirt. You can see the pot. Boy, that's looks like an awful lot of salt creep on the outside of the pot. But anyway, it is in the red at least. So I will go ahead. I've already got the water. I will go ahead and give it some water. I think I just did an unplanned cut there, but it is what it is. Take the meter out and give it somehow give it some water. There we go. I just really tweaked its newest leaf. Okay, there, it's got water now. Again, a full cup, although I don't see it coming out the bottom. I think off camera I'll give it a little bit more water, but on camera we will move on to the next one. Alright, this one is a fiddly fig. Some Lucky Bamboo coming up behind it, but the plant is the fiddly fig. And it keeps... I stick it in there, and then it keeps dropping the humidity level as it sits there for a minute. That shows quite dry. But in actuality, there we go, rather wet. It just seems to dry out as it sits there for a minute. So the fiddly fig's not going to get any water. Kind of weird how that worked out, but it's not going to get any water, even if it is drying out that fast, which I doubt. So now we're going to come to these ponytail palms, and I will stick the meter in there. Oh, soaking wet. Yeah, they don't need any water. And as you can see between the fig and the palm, no, I am not sterilizing that with each plant that I put it in. You can. I'm not saying it's not necessary. Probably a good idea. I'm just not doing it. And again, it's already out of the wet, heading toward dry. And it wasn't in the dirt very far. You can see that bit of dirt on there. That's all the deeper I went, and it read wet. So that's not going to get any water. Yep, candles. Let's see, what is next? Spider plant is next. Okay. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. Boy, my shots are terrible. It's on the dry side. I think I'll let it get a little drier. Not quite ready to be watered. But I was watching a couple of YouTube channels, and I thought this might be interesting to mention. You might notice this one, it's got a lot of dead leaves from other plants and things, But is what it doesn't have is trailing spiders. Spiders on webs, so to speak. It doesn't have any of those. There's no runner with baby plants. And they say, or at least is what I gather, is, the plant does that when it's happy. Well, after watching these videos, I kind of disagree. I don't remember the name of the videos. I didn't think I was going to do a video on the subject where they would come into it. But one was on the Swiss cheese plant, or that Monstera over there. Madsonii, or however you pronounce it. It has a unicorn of a relative, is what I will call it. And, botanical unicorn. Something that exists, but you rarely see. And they were talking about the unicorn variety. I don't remember its name, Monstera something else. But it's really rare, apparently. A 3-digit price tag, not counting change. Sorry, that's an off-topic joke. So a 3-figure price tag. It's in the hundreds of dollars. And from what I understand, the upper end of hundreds of dollars. But it will send out those runners if it is not happy. And from what I gather from that video, they know it's unhappy because when it's sending out those runners, it's not actively growing the plant part of it. It's just the runners get longer and longer, from what I understand. And that's because it's not happy in its location, so it's trying to send out runners for new plants someplace else that will hopefully be happier. Well, you can't go too terribly far that way, but what else can you do as a plant? So it's sending out the runners to try to find a place that's more suitable where it can grow happily. And, yeah, I was thinking about that, and then there was another video that's not, well, the video in itself would be worth mentioning, but not for this purpose. And they were talking about an orchid which bloomed, had a bare spot, and then bloomed at the top. I guess I won't mention it. And the idea was that in that gap was not suitable necessarily for blooming. Whether it was water, light, whatever, maybe it didn't bloom in that gap because while the plant was growing that bit, it wasn't entirely happy for blooms. So there's a couple of bare nodes and then blooms at the top when the situation became right again. So that kind of strengthens the whole saying too. So, when do spider plants send out runners and babies? Tends to be when they get root bound. Are they happy root bound? Maybe not as much as we think. Because they're sending out runners to grow someplace else. If you're happy where you live, do you move? Only if you have to, right? So, that's my thought on that. Is this plant is happy, and that's why it's not sending out runners, because it's perfectly content right where it is. That's not to say I don't want runners. So I'm not going to be giving this plant a new home, I'm going to let it bind up its roots and maybe become a little unhappy so that I will get runners because I want them. You can have the runners and not necessarily sacrifice the health of the plant too much. It is more strain supporting babies, but not that much more. It doesn't kill the mother plant. So yeah, this will be in this pot probably for quite some time. It does have what looks like a completely separate plant here that now has 3 leaves. But, yeah, it's not a runner. It's just what it is. So anyway, this is a watering video. I just thought I would mention that. I will move on. It looks like I will move over to the aloe. See you in a second. Okay, now for the aloe. There it is. Perfectly happy little plant. Not quite as little. But I went ahead and just left the meter in there because it is dry and it would like some water. So I will water it and then we will move on to the next plant. All right, it is the ficus turn. Rubber tree in this case. I guess rubber tree is some sort of fica. But anyway, we'll come down here to the pot where the meter is already in and already dropping. It says wet, but it was completely wet when I stuck it in there. So that does not need to be watered. Give it back. And we will, sorry. I'm just going to try to stand up. And we will move on. I don't want to put too many cuts in. We will see how this, what is this? I'm not exactly sure what this is. Not on top of the root. Okay. Whatever it is, it apparently needs water. Arrowhead? Is that'd be a common name at best, wouldn't it? Okay, so yeah, it's goes up there and across. I really like this one though because of its dramatic leaves. They're not the world's largest leaves, but look at that. You got pink, you got light green, you got dark green. That's not a very good one. There, kind of silhouetted against the light. Just all different colors. Yeah. So, now I will kind of move it aside. And we will see about the start. And this start, yeah, from way back when I propagated it, still got 1 leaf. I think it might grow though. I forgot. Did that need water over there? Yeah, it needs water. You know what? Let me give it its water. I'll be right back with this little version. Okay, I gave the mother plant some water. I promise. I really did give it water. It's just kind of hard to film and water at the same time. So now we'll see if this one would like some water too. At least according to the meter. And no. According to the meter, it is soaking wet. So this one doesn't need water. Interesting how this is turning out. I just picked a watering day, and not everybody needs water. How about this little purple passion? I'll give it a bit of water. It's on the dry side. This one I will give, sorry, I will cut and give it a bit of water and then come back with whatever this is. Okay, the purple passion got a little bit of water. See, there's some coming out the bottom. I really am giving them water. It's just this video is clumsy enough without showing the watering. So, now for this palm of some sort, I believe. It does not need water. It's in the moist area. It went up above that even, but then it settled back into the moist. So maybe next time it'll get a bit of water. And we will have a look at this. I should really have tags. I'm not remembering the names. Schefflera. I think this is a variegated Schefflera. Is it a thirsty? I'm thinking it is. Yep, it's thirsty. In order to take that out, I'm going to need both hands. So I will go ahead, take it out, give it a drink, and then the other ponytail makes sense to me. The other ponytail palm. So, back in a second. Alright. Thirsty little booger, that is. I think that one needs a transplant. But I used up all my dirt with the rubber tree. So, I need more dirt. Anyway, on to this pony. Hey, pony. Dry, dry, dry. On the dried out side. I think I might have broke a root or two, but yep. So it needs some water. I'll go ahead and show it this time because I can, I think, without making a mess. There's some water for it. Whoop. Okay. And now we move to the holiday cactuses. I'm going to check them all because I think they all need water. We will find out. It's growing in a freaking brick. There we go. That one needs water. And to come out of its brick, jeez. This one, a bit of a brick again. It needs some water. Okay. And is it going to be a brick again? Probably. Nope. This one does not need water. It's already moved. It's at the top of the dry side, but it's got moisture. So that one doesn't need water. I notice it doesn't need transplanted like the other two do. But I'm still out of dirt. So is what it is. Oh, gee. Oh, this is a clumsy one. Okay. There's the table. Apparently there wasn't as many cuts as there probably should have been. But, yeah. That's a watering video. Very clumsy watering. Probably the world's clumsiest YouTube watering video. Alright. talk to you next time. I'll put all this together and see what I come up with.